Ariana would drive Godou, Erica, Hestia through the streets of Tokyo that were now being clogged with traffic as a darkness fell over the city, a starless night. Godou, much like you, fellow listener, had many questions. What was the starless night? The Gargonian? What Athena was truly after? Why there was another goddess here in their very presence? Of course, Erica was going to explain it, but Hestia decided that she would take the lead. After all, it was the least she could do. So, Godou would say, "You're saying that there are different eras?" "Yes," Hestia would reply to him. "You could say that you live in an era much different than the ones that have come before you, each era having its own name, distinct from one another. The person I was referring to, my Belle, he came from a different point in time. You see, human history is not quite what you think it is. The way the world is now is not how it used to be. The continents, they shift and change with different eras. What a world map looked like in a different age would not be what it is now. Although, if you connect them enough, then more often than not, you're bound to spot some similarities. These are the different eras, Kusanagi Godou. The first era was the era of the god, or age of the gods. This was a time period where gods and humans lived on Earth together, where they coexisted and where gods formed familias of their own. However, when that age came to an end, next would come the age of knowledge. This is where mankind would search through the knowledge left behind from that time period, where artifacts of great power were called into play. Although when that age fell, came the age of darkness. It's not darkness in the sense that evil simply reigned over the world, but it was darkness in the sense that this was a time where the forces between good and evil were blurred much. Many beings that you could consider good turned bad, and many beings who had often been labeled as bad had their own motives that you might consider good. You could say that this is where the lines became blurred in such an area. Following that came the age of man. This was a time of self-discovery and self-sufficiency. I could say that of all the eras, this is the era where the gods had least amount of influence among mankind. You could even say that it was during this time period where mankind questioned even the need or the concept of the gods, and it's not hard to see why. As for you, Godou, you currently exist in a different era, the current era, the age of the kings. That's why you are dubbed the Campione. Of all the eras, this is probably the greatest era where the divide between man and God is in full effect. For simply put, this is the era where humans, Campione, or kings, if you will, have the capabilities to slay gods. So, while humans and gods can coexist, more often than not, this is the era where great conflict occurs, and it's where you find yourself in the claws of Athena. "I see," Godou would say as he now took in more of an understanding of the world around him. These were the different ages, the different eras of mankind's own history, lost to the vestiges of time, save for the few who were able to remember it. But now Godou had to focus on the main circumstance at hand. He was in the era of the kings, the era of the Campione. And as Campione, he had a duty that he needed to fulfill. In the meantime, Maria had arrived back to the shrine with the Gargonian, where she was attempting to seal it away. She had been called by Godou before, that if anything were to happen, she were to call out his name, to truly focus on him from the depths of her heart. As Godou learned more about his own power, he learned he could be called forth by an ally whom had great faith. He could only hope that Maria could reach him in time. Of course, while Maria was trying to seal away the Gorgonian, Athena would arrive, attempting to claim the artifact and take back her true essence form. Breaking through the barrier, she stole away the Gorgonian and began to transform right before Maria's very eyes. Lilian would arrive soon after, hoping to have taken away the Gorgonian before it was too late. But now it fell into the clutches of the god. For now, the only thing they could do was retreat, but Maria refused to, instead calling out upon the name of Godou Kusanagi, to truly search for him within the depths of her heart and to summon him forth. In an instant, Godou, along with Erica, would appear. Maria would tire out, as it took all of her strength, as well as fighting off the hazardous aura that came from Athena. Although, with Erica's help and guidance, Godou was able to use the Sword of Victory, the Golden Sword, and its healing property in order to heal Maria from her affliction. He now turned his sights to Athena, who had now taken her true state. So, Campione, you have made your presence known once more, and it seems you have come looking for a fight. This is your last chance, Athena. Please turn back from this path. It doesn't have to be this way. Pure-hearted all the way through. Is this what you see in humans, Hestia? Hestia looked on at Athena with a soured expression. Why have you turned like this, Athena? This isn't how you used to be. That was because I did not know my true self until now. I am not like you and the other cowards who hide away in the heavens, pretending to be something that you're not. Is this really what you want for your life, Hestia? Is this truly what you desire? To placate amongst the humans, to act as if you're one of them? Something you simply could never be. What may only be but a mere moment to you is a lifetime for them. Tell me, how many times will you have your heart broken, to have your spirit crushed? Every time you give yourself to them and you watch them wither away and die. Do you want to know what I hate? Watching you put yourself through that time and time again. I rather take joy in combat because it is the only time when a human who is worth acknowledging truly rises up. There were a few throughout the ages. That one in particular. What was his name? Bell, wasn't it? Shut the hell up! Godou looked back to Hestia, who seemed as though she were fighting away the tears. He meant everything to me, and I'll never forget him. And yet your heart still aches for him. Why? He has long since gone to the grave. He is gone. Shut up! He was more to me than anything in this world. And I won't let you speak bad on his name. Not in my presence. And what are you going to do about it? Just as I thought. If all you can do is shed tears, then you be wise to leave my sight. Because I have no use for them. They are a waste of time. To cry for those who were not strong enough to defend themselves. Weak, pathetic, useless. Godou raised his sword. That's enough, Athena. If you can truly be so cruel, even to one who placates on your behalf, then you leave me no choice. Shazam! With the call down of lightning, Godou would transform instantly. In the robes of white, donned in the color of crimson and gold, the sword of light shining in the hilt as he held in his hands, raised towards the goddess herself as she raised her sight of darkness. Have you finally let go of that pacifism? Have you truly embraced being a Campione? I have, and I'm going to kick your ass. The two would engage in combat, Godou's immense strength clashing with that of the god. While not being acclimated to her full form just yet, she was still more than capable of holding her own. In the meanwhile, Hestia and Erica would watch over Maria, helping the Shrine Princess heal. They watched on as Godou would continue his battle against Athena. To wield the golden sword, the sword of victory, Godou had to cut through the divinity of the god. To do so, he needed knowledge of the god, the knowledge given to him by Erica, and the knowledge he would use to cut through the lost knowledge in history. I know who you truly are, Athena. Your history is not lost to me, and it has not been forgotten through the ages. You are not who you once claimed, the daughter of Zeus. However, you were actually the mother of the gods, but when you were usurped, you were taken in as the daughter. You also claimed divinity over the earth, you too representing the owl and the snake. You are the one who brings forth darkness and the light, a goddess of the dark. However, due to you being insubservient to that of Zeus, the one who took parenthood over you as the father, your divinity has been lost, reduced nothing more to the goddess of knowledge and of beauty. However, that is not who you truly are, your true form. You were once known as Athena, conqueror of the great lands and the bringer of the darkness. You are a warrior at heart, whose spirit cannot be contained, not even now. Shut up. How do you know? I know because I too have seen the truth of your divinity, and that is why I cast you out, why I cut it forth. With a strike, Godou had managed to cut through the divinity of Athena, but still that was not enough to overpower her. As Godou would back away once more, now being pushed on the defensive, as Athena looked to launch a counter-strike of her own, Godou would summon forth the power of the flaming horse, calling forth its immense strength at once, as the flames of the four-legged creature descended from the heavens, clashing with the dark aura of Athena. You are indeed a powerful Campione, I give you credit, but still, this will not be enough to stop me. My power only continues to grow, and you have only just come to reach into your own and trueness of power. You will fall, Godslayer, and this world will be bathed in my vengeful darkness. I don't think so. Godou smiled as he looked to the treetops where Erica stood. All you had to do was ask, my love, and anything in all of me will be given to you. With that, she dropped down the spear of Longinus straight into Godou's hands. Now, go forth with the speed of Mercury, with the power of Zeus, with the strength of Hercules. Guide forth and strike true at the god, the one thing that can pierce even the gods themselves, the spear of Longinus. In a mere thrust, the spear would be thrown, crackling away with streaks of lightning as it pierced Athena in the chest, stripping her of her true divinity and form, reducing her to her weakened state. In the immenseness of the large crater, Godou looked down upon the goddess, who looked up to him, weakened and defeated. The spear would return to his hands as Athena looked on. It seems that you have become the victor. You have stolen my commandment, and more so, stripped me of my divinity. Strike true, God-slayer. Claim what is yours. Godou raised the spear, and then struck it to the ground. Let this be a warning to you, Athena. Leave my country and never return. Go forth in peace. So, that is your decision, Campione. I will remember you, Kusanagi Godou. Athena would disappear and leave in that moment as Erica arrived next to Godou as he transformed back into his regular state. Aw, Godou, why didn't you finish her off? Everything was all set up. It was going to be perfect. You would have had the opportunity to take down Athena. Take her down? It almost sounds like you planned all this from the start. Well, I did make sure that this battle would take place on Japan soil. That way no other Campiones could possibly interfere. This was a chance for you to make your mark. Well, I did. I kept my promise, didn't I? I said I'd kick her ass. But still, out of respect for Hestia, I didn't want to slay a fellow god in front of her. Hestia is more than aware of the goings-ons of our world, Godou. She would understand completely if you had to strike down Athena. She wouldn't hold it against you. Maybe, but still, they are family in a way. So, it just wouldn't feel right to do that. After all, that's something that we all have to deal with. Thankfully, the crisis would be averted. But still, there were some who wondered, such as Amakasu. While it seemed as though they had averted the dark prophecy of the Starless Night, he wondered if this was really all there was to it, if more could be looming on the horizon. In the meanwhile, Godou had his own issues to deal with, because now more people were staying in his house. First, there was Maria, who, after going through everything that she had, she felt the need that Godou needed to be watched. So, imagine Godou's surprise waking up the next morning, Erica being at the dinner table for breakfast as always, and not only her, there was Hestia, the goddess, and then there was Maria. Godou's sister was very skeptical of her older brother, and the fact that all of these women just seemed to keep flocking towards him in every which way. Godou tried his best to persist in his innocence, however, Maria would cut him off. It's come to my attention, Godou, that you are someone who needs to be kept in line. Wait, me? But what did I? While you are a good-natured individual, and I will not deny you that, you are still someone who takes things way too lax. You need to be more serious, and you have a tendency to let your lechery get you into trouble. Lechery? Yes, for example, Maria would push Erica off of Godou. Do you have to be so touchy-feely with him so early in the morning? Oh, please, Maria. There's no need to be jealous. After all, I said you could be Godou's second. Every king needs a worthy concubine. Concubine? Godou's sister looked at him angrily. Concubine, brother? Really? So who's she, huh? You got another groupie? She pointed at Hestia. Speak without your mouth being full. I'm just here for the food. I don't really like Godou like that. Sorry. None taken at all. Good, Erica would say. Because after all, Godou, I did warn you. You can only stray away with one girl, and I've decided that's going to be Maria. If you go after any others, I will have to punish you severely. But I haven't even made any of these decisions yet. You two, again, separate! It's early in the morning! You can take his other arm if you want. Okay, fine. Wait, don't I get a say in this? The two girls would look back to Godou. Godou knew this, he wasn't going to get a say at all. As they all enjoyed the breakfast, for Godou Kusanagi, he knew that his journey was only just getting started. There was never-ending threats that loomed on the horizon, some of which were already in Japan. They had been keeping a close eye on the boy and on his progress, and now it looked like it was time for them to make their move, to see if the boy truly had what it took as a Campione. Because after all, he's not the only one in the world. This concludes Campione, Fury of the Gods. What if Godou Kusanagi was Shazam? Season 1, Part 3. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue with What If Godou Kusanagi Was Shazam? Season 1, Part 4, Campione, Fury of the Gods. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.